Kim Jong born 1982. Kim Jong born 1982, autumn 2015. Kim Jong is 33-year-old or 34 in Korean age. She got married 3 years ago and had a daughter last year. She rents a small apartment on the outskirts of Seoul with her husband Jung Daeong, 36, and daughter Jung Jiwon. Daeong works at mid-size IT company and Jeong used to work at a small marketing agency, which she left a few weeks before her due date. Daejeon usually comes home from work around midnight and goes into office at least once on weekends. Jeon's parents live in Busan, and Jeong's parents run a restaurant, making Jeong her daughter's sole career. Just after Jeon turned 1 in the summer, she started daycare as a half day infant. She spends her mornings at a converted ground floor apartment daycare center in the same apartment complex where she lives. Jeong's abnormal behavior was first detected on 8th September. Daehong remembers the exact date because it was the morning of Beong White Dew, the first night of autumn when the temperature drops below dew point. Daehong was having toast and milk for breakfast when Jeong suddenly went to veranda and opened the window. It was quite sunny out, but cold air rushed in. As soon as the window was open and reached the kitchen table where Daehong was sitting, Jeong returned to table with her shoulders hunched, and as she sat down, said, I knew there was a little nip in the air these past few mornings. 2 days, Byung, no, white morning dew on fields of gold, gold on Byung, or when the nights grow cold. Daeon laughed at his wife, who was talking like a much older woman. What's up with you? You sound like your mom. Take a light jacket with you. Jung Seob hung. There's a chill in the mornings and evenings. Even then, he thought she was just joking around. Her imitation of her mother was flawless, down to her signature right eye wink when she was asking for a favor. And elongated last syllable of Jung Seong. He had found her staring off into space and crying over sad songs. Yeah, this book is called Kim Jong, born 1982. So I just started on the page 2. Even then, he thought she was just joking around. Her imitations of her mother was flawless, down to her signature right eye wink when she was asking for a favor and an elongated last syllable of Jongshie Bong. He had found her staring off into space and crying over sad songs. But Daeong figured she was just exhausted from taking care of the baby. She was basically a cheerful person, full of laughter, who often made Daehyun laugh by doing impressions of celebrities. So Daehyun shrugged off Jeong's imitations of her mother, gave her a hug, and went to work. When Daehyun came back from work that night, she was sleeping next to their daughter. Both were sucking their thumbs, looking cute but absurd. Gazing at two side by side, he tugged at his wife's arms to pull her thumb out of her mouth. Jeong's tongue stuck out a little, and she smacked her lips just like a baby and then settled back into sleep. A few days later, Jeong said that she was Cha Seong-yeon, a college friend who had died a year before. Seong-yeon and Daeong-yeon started college the same year, and Jeong had been their junior by 3 years. All three were members of the same university hiking club. However, Jeong and Daeong didn't know each other in college. Daeong wanted to go to graduate school but had to give up due to family circumstances. After he completed his third year of university, He took time off to belatedly fulfill his military service, after which he turned to his home in Busan to work part time for a year. Jeong had entered college and was an active hiking club member during his time away. Seong had always been good to her fellow female club members, on top of which she and Jeong had something in common. They didn't actually enjoy hiking. They became friends and kept in touch and met up frequently even after Seong graduated. In fact, Seongyeon's wedding's reception was the very occasion on which Daeyoung and Jeong met for the first time. Seonjeon died giving birth to her second child due to an amniotic fluid embolism. Jeong was suffering from postpartum depression when she heard about Seong's death, and the shocking news, on top of everything else, made it hard for her to handle everyday tasks. After their daughter had gone to sleep, the couple relaxed and drank some beer, something they hadn't done it in a while. When Jeong had almost finished a can of beer, she tapped her husband on the shoulder and abruptly said, "Hey, Jeong is having a hard time. Raising a toddler is emotionally draining. You should tell her every chance you get. You're doing great. You're working so hard. I appreciate you." As you Are you astral projecting, hun? Fine, fine. Yes, you are doing great, Kim Jong. I know that you're doing going through a tough time. I appreciate you and I love you. Dion lovingly pinched her cheek, but she swatted his hand away, irritated. You still see me as a love struck 20-year-old Cha Xiong, who shook like a leaf in the middle of summer, confessing her feelings. Diong's heart stopped. That was almost 20 years ago, in the middle of the day, in the middle of summer, in the middle of university athletic field, yard away from the tiniest spot of shade. The blazing sun was beating down on two of them. He couldn't remember how they ended up there, but he ran into Xiangyun, who suddenly said she liked him. She liked him. She had feelings for him. She had said, sweet pouring, lips trembling, stammering. Dion gave her an apologetic look and she instantly folded. Ah, thank you. Oh, you don't feel the same. Got it. Forget what I said. Forget this whole thing happened. I'll treat you same as before, like nothing happened. And with that, she trotted across the field and disappeared. She really did not treat him the same as before, as if nothing had happened. So casually that Dion wondered if the whole thing had been a sun exposure induced hallucination. He never thought about it again, and here was his own wife bringing it back. A scene from sunny afternoon almost 20 years ago that only two people in the world knew about it. Jeong was all Dion could say. He might have mumbled her name three more times. But dude, stop calling me by her name. I get it. I know you are a model husband. How dude Chang Xiong used to say over and over, and when she was drunk, his hair stood on the end and he felt something like electric current spreading over his scalp. Pretending to be unfazed, he kept telling her to stop kidding around. Jiang, leaving her empty can on the table, went to the bedroom and lay down next to her daughter without brushing her teeth. She immediately fell fast asleep. Jiang got himself another beer and knocked it back. And was this some kind of joke? Was she drunk? Was she possessed by a spirit or something like those people on TV? The next morning, Jiang came out of the bedroom massaging her temple. She didn't seem to remember what happened the night before. On the on one hand, he was relieved to think she had simply been drunk, but on the other hand, that was one spooky drinking habit. He also found it hard to believe that she had actually been drunk and blacked out. She only had one can of beer. Her odd behavior continued sporadically. She'd send him a text message riddled with cute emotions she never normally used, or make dishes like a oxbone soup or glass noodles that she neither enjoyed nor was good at. Jeong was started to feel like a stranger to Dion. After all this time, the stories they shared as countless as raindrops, the caresses as soft and gentle as snowflakes, and the beautiful daughter who took after them both. His wife of 3 years, whom he married after 2 years of passionate romance, felt like someone else. Then came the Chuseok harvest holidays. They were visiting Dion's parents down in Busan. Dion took Friday off, and the three of them left home at 7 in the morning and arrived in Busan 5 hours later. They had lunch with Dion's parents immediately after they arrived, and Dion tried, tired from long drive.